Today I'm going to show you how to make an Earthshaker Artillery Emplacement terrain piece for your games of 40k. It's really easy. They look great on the tabletop, and it's a lot more cost effective than purchasing one from Forge World. The main piece you're going to need is the cannon itself, the Earthshaker. Now this is actually from 21st Century Toys, and it's a M59 155 millimeter Longtom artillery piece. I got this on eBay for 10 bucks. Now the Forge World equivalent is a little over 100 bucks. So we're saving a little bit of money. Now the next thing you're going to need is some styrofoam round dials, and I got these at Hobby Lobby. They were $4.50 a piece, and they're 1 inch thick and 8 inches across. And then I got this mesh. It's actually for crocheting or knitting or something, but it makes great flooring for the emplacement. I got this at Hobby Lobby and it was only 79 cents. You're going to need a medium grit sanding block, an old brush, an X-Acto knife, some pre-mixed joint compound, or you get the powdered one and mix it yourself. You'll also need a hot glue gun and some paint for a base. I'm using this gray paint. It's Battleship Gray, I think, but I bought a gallon of it at Walmart. Battleship Gray. I had to mix it. I think a gallon costs about 10 bucks, and then I diluted it 50-50 with water. And it makes a great base for all of your terrain. Alright, and that's pretty much all of the materials you're going to need. I had most of this stuff here, so my project cost is about $25. So the very first thing we want to do is make the emplacement itself. And right now we're only going to need one of these, so I'm going to set the other one to the side. Using my Sharpie, I want to mark in about 2 inches, and that's about up to there, right? So mark in about 2 inches all the way around. And see, I can use my finger as a guide. I guess if I wanted to be really critical, I could actually measure it. But I just want to go all the way around. Now, the part that we want to keep is this out here. The inside is the part we want to get rid of. All right. Now, I'm going to use. I got this little box cutter knife. It's probably work a little bit better than that. But basically, you're just going to cut in a circle, and then punch out the middle. All right. Now, let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back with you. Now that I've got my center out, that's trash. That's what I want. I want about 1.5 inches, 2 inches all the way around. Now this is going to go on the top of here, right? And the cannon's going to go here in the middle. So the infantry people that are going in and out, they need a way into the emplacement. So now the next thing we're going to do is cut an entrance. Now you want it to be probably about 3 or 4 inches across. And we want it to slope out, kind of like that. So, setting that aside, I'm going to cut that out. Then I'm left with something like that. Alright. Now, using my sanding block, I'm going to go and smooth this all out. Make it all nice and pretty, all uniform, one size. So this right here is about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. That's probably about 1.5 inches. So I want to make this side the exact same all the way around. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right. So now I've sanded it down. It's fairly smooth. That's what it looks like. It's going to go just like that. Line it up just like that. And so the Earthshaker emplacement is right here. The cannon's in the middle. And now I probably ought to put a step in here. So I'm going to put a step in here and I'll be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and put in my step. And now I want to secure the wall to the platform. So what I've done is I've got some little wooden dowels or toothpicks or whatever you want to call them, and I cut them up into 1 inch to 3/4 inch little pieces. And so I'm going to take and jam it into there at probably about 2-inch increments all the way around. And what this does is it holds this piece in, reinforces it while the glue dries, and makes it sturdy and strong so it won't fall apart. It's fairly simple, fairly easy to do. And there you go, just like that. Now, I want to take some regular PVA glue, place it over the, sparingly over the top, just like that. I'm going to take it and set it straight on there. And once I get it lined up, push it down. Alright, so now I want to put some weight on there and let it dry overnight. So, I want to get something with some substantial weight, and I figure what better use than to use my old 6th edition 40k rule book. That's pretty heavy. Put it over the top of it, let it sit overnight, that way allow the glue to dry, and I'll get back to you. Alright, so I've let this dry, and let's take a look at it. Alright, so basically it's almost ready for the next step. We need to take our box cutter and shave the edge all the way around so that it's not so square and circular. And we'll do that just like that. You're just putting a small bevel on it, and you're not cutting very much off. You just small bevel. Alright, and once you get the outside done, do the same for the inside. And then when you get that done, you can take your sanding block, smooth it out. And then you're left with something like that. The sides have been rounded, beveled. Inside has been beveled, and now we're ready for the next step. The next step is to apply joint compound, and this is the pre-mixed stuff. You can buy the powdered stuff and mix it yourself if you want to, but this is a little bit easier. Take your old brush, goop it out, and put it on. And basically, you want to smooth it out. Goop it on, smooth it out. And you want to not a thick coat, but you want a thin coat. And you want to be able to see the texture that's underneath there. So when this dries, it's going to look pretty much like concrete, white concrete. And then when you go back and you'll paint it, then it'll almost look identical to concrete. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And after we do that, we're going to have to let it dry overnight so that it's thoroughly dry when we put the paint on there. But you want to do every space with the exception of the inside and the steps. But you do want to do this part right in here. Alright. With that, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'll get back with you tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. Alright. So I've let it sit, and I let it sit overnight, and the joint compound is dried. You'll notice that I did not put it on the middle, and I didn't put it on the step. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mesh and I'm going to cut it to fit the floor and the step. And this is going to add texture to my floor and make it look like a deck. Alright, so I've finished cutting out my grating for the floor. And the next step is to use my hot glue gun and glue that in there. Once that dries, I'm going to give a base coat of Battleship Gray to the entire model. I'm going to let that dry overnight and I'll be back. So I let it dry overnight, and once it was dry, I gave it a light highlight of light gray. I painted the decking a rust color and then highlighted it silver. Showed a little weathering. And then I drilled a 1/2 inch hole through the center of the emplacement. On the gun, I separated it from the carriage, and there were these little tabs, and I shaved them off with my X-Acto knife. And that's a 1/2 inch around, and it fits right into the hole that I drilled. Just like that. Alright, so here's the finished emplacement. As you can see, that's it right there. And the cannon can rotate. And to give you some scale, let me grab, now I know this is a Space Marine, but that's the scale. So it fits right in line. And like I said, I bought that cannon on eBay for 10 bucks. And I actually bought 3 of them so that I can make an entire battery of these. So I got a little bit more to do. And there you go. I hope you like it. And there you go.